Whether Brian drunkenly stumbled out of the building or ran away on his own accord, he was never captured by any other security camera that night. No other nearby bar had security footage of him, and the street cameras failed to catch him on the run. He was there, and then he vanished.
Smart ass fool, bro. If he disappeared, he's smart as fuck. What's good, you guys? Mo back at again with another video. Today, I'm reacting to a YouTube video. The man who vanished into thin air. I don't know anything about this. Yeah, let's get straight into it. Talking too much, bro.
In 2006,
I got a muffin too.
7-year-old Brian Shaffer walked to a bar and was never seen again. The
What?
case has since received
He
widespread
walked into a
attention
bar.
and a thorough investigation. But to date, no one knows what happened to Brian Shaffer.
He walked into a bar and disappeared. That's like a beginning of like a show.
On Friday, March 31st,
A
2006,
story.
It signaled the start of spring break for.
Hold on. This sounds like a story made up like in an actual show. You know what I mean? Like
Brian
at the
Shaffer,
beginning of a show
medical
type of
student
story.
at the Ohio State University. He started his big break from school by having dinner at the Outback Steakhouse with his father, Randy Shaffer. Randy later stated
6'2".
that he never understood why
He's
Brian
6'2".
would go out that evening. He seemed exhausted from studying so much. After dinner, Brian met with his friend, William Clint Florence,
Okay.
and they celebrated the start of spring break like any
Okay.
college student would. A fun night of drinking and de-stressing. The two walked to the Ugly Tuna Saloona, an indoor bar located in Columbus, Ohio. Brian invited his brother, Derek, and Derek's wife, Maureen, but they had gone to a show at the Funny Bone Comedy Club, which ran late. They left the show tired and decided to drive straight home,
Okay.
passing on Brian's invitation. At
Okay.
around 10 p.m., Brian called his girlfriend, Alexis Wagner,
Okay.
who was also a second-year medical student at the same university.
So the friend is still with
She and
him.
Brian were scheduled
At
to
this
fly
point
to
still.
Miami on Monday morning.
Okay.
So she decided to visit her family in Toledo before leaving. After his call with Alexis, Brian and Clint went bar hopping, visiting several nearby locations, such as the Short North Tavern and the Brothers Bar. They had a shot of hard liquor at each stop, while working their way down to the Arena District. At around midnight, the two met with one
Who
of
the
his
hell
friends,
drove him to all these
Meredith Reed,
spots?
who drove them back to the Ugly Tuna Saloona for a final round of drinks.
Okay.
The Tuna Saloona for a final round of drinks.
Wait, who? Meredith.
At around 1:15 a.m., security footage captures Brian, Clint, and Meredith making their way up the escalator to the Ugly Tuna Saloona.
1:15 a.m.
At some point after this, Clint and Brian are back
Okay.
outside the bar talking to two girls, Amber Ruick and Brighton Zatko. While Clint spoke to Amber, Brian was left to speak to Brighton.
Randoms.
Apparently, Brian was pretty flirty. Reportedly, he had even kissed Brighton's neck. At 1:57 a.m., Brian
He
can
cheated?
be seen in a small alcove, just off camera next to a beige door. And it would be the last time Brian was ever seen again. It was here that Brighton put her number in Brian's phone, and then walked back inside the Ugly Tuna Saloona to use the restroom. When she returned, Brian was nowhere to be found.
No.
Since it was common
she's
for Brian
sketchy.
to occasionally separate from
sketchy
his
for that.
friends, Clint and Meredith didn't think much of it. However, when the bar closed at 2 a.m., they were left outside waiting for Brian. They assumed that Brian must have wandered home. After all, his apartment was only located a few blocks away. He never reappeared. Brian missed his flight to Miami the following Monday. He was
Damn.
officially declared missing. When police began searching for Brian,
Someone was definitely watching this guy, waiting for him. He was definitely tipsy, like too tipsy to like take care of himself. This guy's 6'2". I forgot how many pounds he was, but he's 6'2". Definitely could take care of himself. Like, someone was definitely watching him. And that person had to be someone also, like, strong enough to take care of a 6'2" guy. It's either one person or two people. This is
they
2006,
started by looking
Like,
through the building's security cameras.
I don't know.
By now, it's well known that nobody from
People
that night
just
ever saw
disappear
Brian
by
leave the
themselves if
building.
they want to.
And the security footage did nothing but support that narrative. Throughout all the footage, police were able to
Nobody
account
saw him
for
just
every single
leave?
patron that entered the building and leave the building. And the security footage did nothing but support that narrative.
Okay, that's what I thought I
Throughout
heard.
all the footage, police were able to account for every single patron that entered the building. And every single one of them left, except for Brian.
So nobody
Once
saw
the
him
police
leave the
found
building.
no evidence of Brian's whereabouts from the footage, their search efforts began to spread. Officers took to the streets, sometimes with police dogs, searching throughout the city, including inside dumpsters and waste containers. They questioned residents and posted flyers with Brian's information, including some of his distinct features, such as a fleck in one of his irises and his Pearl Jam stick figure tattoo. They even went so far as to check the city sewers, but found nothing useful.
They checked the sewers.
The fact that Brian's personal belongings were untouched made matters worse.
Bro,
There were no signs of struggle within Brian's home, and nothing of value was missing. His bank account and credit cards remained untouched.
no
Even his
way.
car was still parked 6 blocks from the Ugly Tuna Saloon at his apartment on King Avenue, where his girlfriend waited for 2 days after.
Bro, this man wanted to disappear, bro. For some reason, he wanted to disappear. Nobody disappears and nobody just vanishes in thin air. Not touching his bank. His car's in the same spot. There's no evidence of anything, any struggle at his crib. This man wanted to disappear. He wanted to vanish. If not, I don't even know. Like, he's 6'2". Somebody strong enough, really strong, had to take this guy down. If he just vanished in thin air, like it's impossible. Impossible.
After his disappearance. The police weren't the only ones investigating Brian's case. Alexis spent her time posting hundreds of flyers at their school campus, searching through dumpsters, and scouring neighborhoods by day and river banks by night.
Sad.
She even called Brian's cell phone every day for a long time. While her calls usually went straight to voicemail, there was one instance where it rang.
No.
It was one of the best sounds I've ever heard, she recalled, even if no one picked up. Unfortunately, Singular, Brian's wireless provider, later claimed that this might have been due to a system glitch and not
way.
an actual response from Brian's phone. Investigators were also unable to determine Brian's exact location because his phone wasn't GPS enabled.
That is sus.
Interestingly, a cell tower did detect a ping from Brian's cell phone in Hilliard, 14 miles northwest of Columbus. Whether or not this was also a system glitch is anyone's guess.
That is not a system glitch.
Besides Alexis, Randy also launched his own investigation. One of the things he did was visit a psychic, who told him that Brian's body was in the water near Bridge Pier.
What?
This prompted Brian's family to search along the shores of the Olentangy River, but no evidence of Brian's whereabouts was ever found.
I don't believe in
Throughout
psychics.
the years, the police have received many tips, including possible sightings in Michigan, Texas, and even as far as Sweden. Eddie Vedder, the lead singer of Pearl Jam, mentioned Brian at one of their concerts later that year.
No way.
But dead serious, this last April, a young man named Brian Shaffer kind of went missing. He looks like he's in his 20s. He's 6'2", real handsome guy. If you look into this, it's out there. FindBrianShaffer.com. That's his name, Brian Shaffer. and it feels like he's one of our own. And
Damn.
if you have any information, there is a reward, but you can also remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers Ohio. There's information
No
on NBC
way.
4, and
Crime Stoppers?
he's
They were looking
he's
for
one
him
of
too?
us,
That is insane.
and we miss him here tonight, and hopefully we can have a happy ending to this. If you have any information or idea,
Bro, it's been 20 years. 20 years exactly. What are the possibilities he's found?
So,
Like,
you
actually.
can see it's quiet, you know? And imagine at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you know, the bar was probably packed, but around here, especially if it was under construction, there's a really good chance, you know, no one would be here. So there's a parking garage right behind it. So here is the east side of the building that he disappeared in from. Parking garage. Here's one emergency exit.
Okay.
So this could have been one of the doors that he came out of. Fire pump room. There's another emergency exit. But there's the other emergency exit. This is the one that they think he could have went out of.
How's there no cameras?
And there's another emergency exit. So there's four emergency exits.
There's 3 to 4 exits that he could have taken, and there's no cameras. Bro. 2006 was rocking like this, bro?
You know? Oh man.
There's no cameras on anywhere on that alley.
It's just crazy.
As time went on,
Nowadays, there's cameras everywhere. Everywhere, literally
this
everywhere.
case gained widespread attention from media and online sleuths due to its puzzling nature. The very ambiguous security footage, coupled with some interesting details about Brian's past, has opened the door for speculation and theories.
Oh, tell us
It's
the tea.
worth
Tell
noting
us
that
the
3
tea.
weeks before his disappearance,
Okay.
Brian's mother passed away due to myelodysplasia, a rare form of cancer.
Damn.
According to a 2018 interview with Brian's family, he was apparently so distraught by this event that he showed up 1 hour late to his mother's funeral. Moreover,
Damn.
about a week after
Fair.
Ray's passing,
It's fair though.
Brian asked Alexis to just go away with him. And a few days before he disappeared,
Yeah, it's obvious. Like, the guy disappeared. He either disappeared or he disappeared and then offed himself. That's the only thing that makes sense. Like, his mom meant so much to him that he couldn't handle it mentally. Like, it makes sense. It's fair, I guess. Yeah.
he told her to move on and find someone else.
Damn.
Given the emotional hardship that Brian was enduring, and the fact that he was most likely drunk during the night of his disappearance, some believe that he may have committed suicide. The Ugly Tuna
That's what I
Saloon
said.
sits on the second floor of the Gateway Film Center building. The theory is that Brian could have snuck past the main security camera, leaped from a nearby non-surveillance service door that at the time led to a construction site, and is now buried beneath the rubble. He may have even done so unintentionally. If you recall, Randy did say that Brian seemed tired that night from pulling all-nighters for his exams. And there's some evidence that might support this claim. When Detective John Hurst was interviewed about his investigation into this case, he stated that Brian got exited out of the construction site exits.
But we went over and checked the movie theater that was, across the way, checked out, the entire building from top to bottom to try to figure out if he could have went, in a different direction. And the basic indication right now is somehow he got down into the construction area and most likely got exited out of there. But again, we don't have anything that's on video to support that. It's just speculation at this time.
Yeah, all this is speculation. Like, dude had to have, planned this. Yeah, he must have had to plan this out so thoroughly. Like, it all, obviously, he vanished in thin air, but like how long did he like come up with this shit if he actually did disappear on his own? You know what I mean? That's the big question. It's either he did it on his own or he had people help him. But nobody came forward, is what it seems like. Bro.
The wording he chose has been the source of much speculation, causing many people to wonder if foul play was involved. There's also the possibility of a cover-up. Apparently, the construction site was a significant investment for the county, and there would, of course, be bad press if a dead body turned up before it was finished. However, search dogs were used by the police during their investigation, especially around the area where Brian was last seen, and nothing was uncovered.
That's
Another theory
crazy.
is that Brian could have ran away to start a new life. Perhaps the passing of his mother and argument with his girlfriend could have caused Brian to not kill himself, but to escape and begin anew. Some people suspect
That's
that
what I
Brian
thought.
might have left
That's what I
through a
thought.
back exit, namely through an unwatched freight elevator. The area is monitored by 2 security cameras, one that automatically pans the area and another that is manually controlled. Brian could have waited for the perfect opportunity to slip past their view. Once again, there's very little evidence to support this claim, but there's at least some evidence. When Brian's mother passed away, he reportedly received $20,000 from life insurance, which might have
What?
helped him escape. Also, according to Dan Shaffer, Brian was capable of going through sudden changes, or as he puts it, he could swing through extremes. In 1999, he was heavily into partying and drinking until he got a DUI and spent 3 days in prison. After that, he changed completely. He stopped drinking and got into exercise for about 6 months. This could suggest that Brian was no stranger to radical lifestyle changes. Brian also
But he was bar hopping that night. So does that mean that he was just drinking like soda or water instead of like drinking like beer? That's the big question. I feel like the cop should have asked his friend, was he drinking that night? Or those girls that he was with, was he drinking that night? Was he tipsy? Was he drunk? Well, it's obviously not in the video, but like this YouTuber should have like found out if he was drunk or not, because if they're saying this information, if they're saying that he stopped drinking, then you should say if he was drunk that night.
played
Now I'm like questioning, was he drunk or was he not?
guitar as part of a band during high school. Even during his years at university, he had mentioned that his main goal in life was to start his own band. To be precise, he once said on his MySpace account, "This whole doctor thing is really just a job, only temporary, until I get my band together and put out a record." Which might suggest a motive. I mean, could the death of his mother push him to such extremes? Probably not. Considering how popular this case has become, it would be extraordinarily difficult for Brian to hide from the public. Also, despite the then recent
I don't think it would be that hard. Get a haircut. Probably like, I feel like he could like transform himself, move somewhere that like a small little town, and nobody would question it. But $20,000, $20,000, he wouldn't be able to survive. He would still have to like, unless he made a lot of money, being a doctor, like saving up.
passing of his mother, those close to Brian said that he was handling the grief pretty well and had ambitious plans for the future. He and Alexis were scheduled to leave for Miami that Monday. The trip was actually a gift his mother had given them the previous Christmas.
Alexis, mom.
Alexis, along with many of their friends and families, believed that Brian was planning on proposing to her during their vacation. In fact, it was later confirmed by one of Renee's coworkers that Brian had indeed been speaking to his mother about asking Alexis for her hand. It's kind of doubtful that Brian would choose to throw this all away.
That's kind of sad if he did.
At the end of the day, Brian was a promising student with a bright future. He had just received a degree in microbiology from OSU, and he was in his
Smart-ass
second
fool.
year studying medicine. Whether Brian drunkenly stumbled out of the building or ran away on his own accord, he was never captured by any other security camera that night. No other nearby bar had security footage of him, and the street cameras failed to catch him on the run. He was there, and then he vanished.
Smart ass fool, bro. If he disappeared, he's smart
Other
as
theories
fuck.
have arisen, ranging from murder to drug involvement, and even the smiley face killer. From the late 1990s to the 2010s, a series of mostly white, college-aged men were found dead in bodies of water across the United States, often after leaving parties or bars. Most of these men were fit, popular, and successful students.
Okay.
Brian undoubtedly fits this description well,
Yeah.
but the police and FBI have discarded this possibility following their investigation.
His body was never
For
found.
one, there's no evidence that Brian's body is in water, or if he's even dead. And second,
Yeah, because you
the
never
FBI
found the
have
body.
concluded that the smiley face killer doesn't exist. The drug involvement theories revolve around Brian's potential usage of cocaine. It's well known that medical students have to bear days of overnight studying, and some sources claim that their drugs of choice are uppers or stimulants, like the legal pill Adderall or the illegal powder cocaine. It's speculated that Brian may have purchased cocaine that evening during their bar hopping, and possibly the dealer took note that Brian had a lot of cash, which could have led to the mugging and subsequent murder of Brian Shaffer.
Then where's his body?
Remember that this is all just speculation.
I hate this
It's
speculation
virtually
shit,
impossible
bro.
to confirm whether or not Brian was into drugs without someone ratting him out. There's one last theory that's quite interesting. While the police were investigating the case, they
Mhm.
turned to questioning those who had seen Brian that night,
Okay.
asking them to take lie detector tests.
Okay.
Meredith Reed and Randy Shaffer both took the test without a problem. Clint,
Okay.
however, refused. Up until this time, Clint had been cooperative with the police through the investigation.
Nah.
However, when asked to take a lie detector test, he quickly got a lawyer, and from that point on, refused to participate any further in the search for Brian.
He knows.
According to his attorney, Neil Rosenberg, Clint did not take the lie detector test because he had already told officers everything he knew
That's
and
so
didn't see the
cap.
value of having to do it all over again.
So cap. He
It
knows
should
where
come
he,
as no
where he
surprise
is.
that this is extremely suspicious behavior from
Very
Clint.
suspicious. Very suspicious.
Furthermore, Clint is the only person to claim that Brian did, in fact, return to the bar, yet no one else has been able to corroborate his memory. Many of the people close to Brian, including his family, don't trust Clint. As soon as the
I don't
detectives
trust
started
him.
getting involved, that's when he pretty much had no contact with anybody, said Derek, Brian's brother. I've always thought he definitely knows something, just won't come forward with it. If Brian did take off somewhere, if that is the case, we just always had a strong feeling that Clint would possibly know that. Alexis Wagner agrees with Derek. She also believes that Clint has withheld information. However, she believes that Brian died and did not run off.
I
I
don't
can't
believe
imagine
that.
he would have just done that.
I
she
don't
said.
believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Clint knows where he is. At the
2
end.
years after Brian's disappearance,
Uh-huh.
his father Randy passed away from what can be considered a freak accident. On September 2008,
Damn.
Randy was at his home in central Ohio, clearing debris during a heavy windstorm, when a branch from a nearby tree broke and fell upon him, killing him.
Damn.
The next day, the neighbors found his body and called the police. When Randy passed away, his obituary was posted online, along with a condolence book. It was around this time that a new lead would emerge. Someone made a
No
post
way.
on the condolence book as if it were coming from Brian himself. And the message stated a location, the U.S. Virgin Islands. At first, it gave
No
new hope
way.
that Brian might still be alive. However, police were able to trace the online message.
Okay.
They determined that it was a hoax, as it had been posted from a computer accessible to the public in Franklin County, Ohio, not the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Then he's
Although
there
the
then.
message was a hoax, it has been mentioned that the Columbus police still believe Brian to be alive. Clint's attorney, Neil Rosenberg, intimated this. Rosenberg had been writing to a private investigator named
What the
Don
fuck?
Corbett, who volunteered his time to help the Shaffer family find Brian. They spoke of Clint's refusal to take a lie detector test. In April of 2009, the Ohio State student newspaper, The Lantern, even published an article regarding the exchange between Rosenberg and Corbett. If Brian is alive, which is what I'm led to believe after speaking with the detective involved, then it is Brian, and not Clint, who is causing his family pain and hardship, Rosenberg wrote. Brian should come
True.
forward and end this.
True. But the thing is, Brian's gone through so much. To be honest, I can't talk like I'm white, because this is a white guy that supposedly vanished if he wasn't murdered, obviously. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, his mom meant so much to him. She passed away. He obviously felt some way towards it and about it, that he was comfortable vanishing and disappearing from his wife or his fiance. And Clint obviously knows. If he doesn't know, then he's part of the murder, like, in some way, somehow. Like, he's tied somehow to it. And whoever commented that shit is fucked up. That Virgin Islands spot, whoever did that is fucked up. If that was
After
an actual
so many
person.
years, Alexis is now numb to emotions regarding Brian's case. Yet she still wonders about what happened that night.
Yes,
In 2009, she married a man named Eric, a
Okay.
contractor who was building her parents' new home. They
W.
now live in Toledo with their children. As for Derek Shaffer, Brian's brother and the last remaining member of his immediate family,
Yeah.
he states, I've thought about that night over and over and over for 10 years. What if I had been there that night? Would things have been different? Would my brother still be here? I've carried that guilt around for a while. Derek's wife, Marin, also shares her curiosity about what could have happened to Brian. We never could have believed then that 10 years later, we still don't know what happened to Brian. It's been so hard watching Derek go through this, but we had to
I
get back
bet.
into our normal lives. Derek and Marin now live in Canal Winchester with their son.
Damn.
Finally, as for Brian, his case remains a mystery. Did someone murder the 27-year-old?
Yeah.
Or did he run away? Did he kill himself, or is he still alive?
20
In
years later, maybe.
2016, when asked these questions, Detective John Hurst had this to say. Is Brian alive? There is a possibility he is alive, but if you look at the probabilities that he isn't alive, those are just as great. Was he murdered? There is nothing we have been able to recover that shows he succumbed to foul play. So again, the probability of that isn't as great as he just walked away. Did he take his own life? Most people who commit suicide want to be found.
Yeah.
I would say that is probably in the lower category.
Mm-hmm.
The answers that everyone wants, everyone needs, I don't know if we will ever have them.
Damn. Damn. This got my mind just like wondering what the fuck happened. Like, how is this even possible? And he said 2016 this whole time. I thought it happened in 2006. Or was it 2016? I don't know. But if it's 2016 to 2006, 2016, it doesn't matter. But it's a 10-year difference, but it's just crazy. Like, his brother is still alive, and his brother's having guilt about this shit. If he did disappear and vanish, then he only cared about himself. But I mean, it's fair, but it's also selfish. But it's also fair, like, his mom died and it hit him hard, but at the same time it's selfish. You have a brother, you have a dad, you have fiance and Clint is being weird. Bro, this whole shit got me like, how much? I'm gonna be wondering about this shit for the next couple days, I swear. If you guys have any stories, if you guys know any stories like this, or creepy mystery type of stories like this that I should watch, let me know down in the comments. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys didn't enjoy it, please still consider giving it a like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.